All right, so our game works beautifully. I can click my fish and he'll get faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And then, oh, wait, why did it restart all of a sudden? Why did it restart? It was working. So let's just check how I'm doing it. So I'm not clicking and it's not restarting. So why did it restart once I got it to a higher score? So let's see. Oh, now I can't play this game at all. All right, I'm going to tap on my screen rather than use the mouse. All right, so I'm getting faster and faster and faster. Oh, and I lose again. So one of the things that can happen sometimes, it gets so fast that it just restarts. And sometimes it seems to work, and then sometimes it just seems to restart. So we have to ask ourselves, what is going on when we run into this problem? So sometimes when we're dealing with problems on our game, we have to think about what specifically is going on. So this is not a syntax error in our game. So when we have a problem where things just don't work and you see redness over here in the console and there's also error messages, that's a syntax error. There's something wrong in the grammar. But when the program behaves in a way that we don't expect, that is not a syntax error, that's a logic error in our thinking in how the game is set up, or an interaction error in the game. So the game is working perfectly the way we programmed it, but it is not behaving expectedly. So we have to thinking about what exactly is going on when it happens. So sometimes the game restarts instantly and sometimes it works exactly the way I want it to. And what I've noticed is when my game restarts instantly, I've gotten to a higher score and my fish is moving really fast. So what might be happening when the fish is moving really fast versus when it's moving slow? I don't understand why that would matter for the game restarting. So let's think about that for a second. So when it's moving really fast, I'm tapping and I have to tap quicker so that I can try and catch the fish. And what if when I'm tapping really fast, I end up tapping again as soon as the game is over. And so I tap and then I instantly restart again. That's got to be what's happening. So what's happening is I'm tapping so fast and the game ends and then I tap the screen again, inadvertently starting the game again, even though I wanted to see what my score was. So how do we fix that? So right now, if I tap anywhere on the screen, I will start the game again. What if I had to tap a specific spot on the screen in order to start? So right now when my game ends, let's say I had to click the word restart in order to win, or in order to restart the game. Let's say I had to click this text, right? That might work, but if the restart is too close to my fish, I might still hit the restart button. So let's think about my game over screen. I'm gonna rejigger my game over screen a little bit here. I'm gonna make what looks like a button. So there's no program for a button, but what we can do is we can actually functionally make a button, because all a button is a rectangle, right? So on my game over screen, if I create a rectangle, and let's say, make it, I don't know, let's put it halfway across my canvas, but slightly over. So I'm going to say, let's say my canvas is, how wide is my canvas? My canvas is 500, so if I put it at 200, I'm going to put it down below the middle of the screen. So I'm going to put it at something like 350. And then I'm going to make it, I don't know, 100 wide. That's not 100 wide and 50 tall. All right, let's see what that looks like when I get there. So that's not a bad spot. I'm going to move it over a little bit and make it just a little longer though. Let's go ahead and make this 150, and then we'll make it 200 wide. That's not 200. All right, now that's a nice big button and it's way out of my way. So now if I put my click to restart down in there, all right, so let's put click to restart, and I'm gonna have to put it below that. And then let's see, the left edge has got to be 150. So let's make it just a little bit in from the left edge of the box at 155. And remember, the bottom left corner is where the text is. So I want to make sure that the text is not at 350, but at 350 plus 50, which would be 400. So I'm going to put it at 395, so it's just a little bit in. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Oh, I didn't get rid of it. So I didn't get rid of this one. That's why we see it in two places. But we see it here, but we don't see it. How come we don't see it here? Oh, I see the T, but I don't see the rest of it. Where's the rest of it? Oh, it's green on green. Oh, so I better do a fill. Let's make it 0. And then let's make my box just a little bit bigger because apparently it doesn't quite get it. Let's go to 210 and see if that's big enough. Now, it's very obvious I should click that button to restart. And it's not quite centered on my button, so I'm going to move it up a little bit more just so it looks a little nicer to me. But you can always tweak that later. All right. So now, right now I can still click anywhere on my screen and it will restart. How do I make it so that when I click the button, it restarts? I don't want to click up here and have it restart. I want it to click here just in the box. So how do I do that? So we need to go back to where our clicking is happening, right? So we know our box is there. It looks more or less the way we want it to. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it rounded corners because a button should have rounded corners, I think. It'll look a little nicer. I know. Now I'm worried about aesthetics. Oh, there we go. That does look nicer. All right. So I like that a little better. Anyway, let's get back to the functionality. So we know that in our mouse pressed is where we're going to need to be. So where's our mouse pressed? Okay, it's up here. So when lives are 0, we might want to restart, right? But we only want to restart if the button was clicked, right? We only want to restart if the button was clicked. So again, this is where we're going to need an if statement. And we need an if, and then we're going to need curly braces. So, but now what goes in the if? How do we determine if the button, so we need to make sure the mouse X is inside this green rectangle somewhere. So to do that, we have to do our whole mouse X, mouse Y. So if mouse X is greater than the left-hand edge of the box, and the left-hand edge of the box is 150. So if mouse X is greater than 150, and mouse X is less than the right-hand edge of the box, and the right-hand edge of the box is 150 plus 210 because it's 210 wide. So 210 plus 150, 360. So for my button, and again, yours may be different. Okay, so this works for mine. So there's my X's. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the Y's. So I'm going to do an and. I'm going to go ahead and go down to that next line because I can do that. And mouse Y is greater than the top of the box. And the top of the box was at the Y, which is 350. So mouse Y needs to be greater than 350. And mouse Y needs to be less than the bottom of the box. Oh, I capitalized the M. You just notice how it didn't turn pink? And so then mouse Y has to be less than the bottom of the box. So the top of the box is 350 and it's 50 tall. So 350 plus 50 is 400. So this is really just we've done this before. So you should be able to do that without too much difficulty. So now this says, when the mouse is pressed, check. Are lives equal to 0? If lives are equal to 0, now check to see where the mouse is. If the mouse is on the button, then restart. Okay? But if lives are not 0, then we're going to call check hit. So now when I do this, let's go ahead and click get a score going a little bit. And then we'll get, so now I'm going to click randomly in the big black area, nothing. But if I click the green box, uh-oh, what did I screw up? Still nothing. Oh, really? 40? Mouse X less, mouse Y less than 40? 400. I can't believe you guys didn't tell me I had a typo. Can't believe you guys didn't tell me that I typoed that. Okay, maybe I can because I'm recording this and there's nobody in my room. Okay, now I'm clicking randomly around the screen. Nothing happens. Now when I click the green rectangle, hey, there we go. So now we have a click to restart button. So you should always think about a click to restart sort of button. So, and by putting it on a button, it's very obvious that that's where I need to click, right? I could even just put the word restart if I wanted to, but by putting that rectangle with the text on it, it's very clear that that is where I want to click.